team has invested a lot of money, charters, building, personnel, et cetera, et cetera. With all the commitment that you've made on the financial end, do you feel like those contributions and that investment is appreciated enough by the other side?
Bueller.
Probably not.
Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Well, Freak Nation, here's a question for you. If there was only one real big one at Talladega, would people watch? How you doing, man? Speed Freaks from the Lucas Oil Studios, Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C. Suave. We're all here for you, Freak Nation. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the website speedfreaks.tv. How many people had your winner from Talladega on Sunday? How many people had Ricky
Stenhouse Jr. winning Talladega? Anybody here in the Freak Nation? Statman, was that one of your picks, my friend?
No, that wasn't any thing. I don't think it was even the pick of the driver in the 47.
The driver really didn't know if he won.
Yeah, obviously like with, the Atlanta race earlier in the year, the Kansas race, the first Kansas, my spotter tab was pumped as soon as we crossed the line, but, I'm just sitting there waiting to, celebrate and make sure, it was way too close for me to call from the seat. But, when the 24 jumped out to the outside, it was like a parachute hit my car, and, I was just hoping that we would get to the start-finish line before them. And so it was a drag race at that point. So, when I got probably to the backstretch, they were pretty confident that we had won, and a big sigh of relief for sure.
I like that. Got to the backstretch. They were pretty confident that we won. That's how tight that finish was with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., your October Talladega winner, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Richie, it's not your closest finish this year, correct?
Yeah, so the finish here was 0.006 seconds, and you might be saying, holy crap, that's really close, isn't it? That's got to be one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history. Here's the problem. Y'all remember Atlanta and Kansas this year? Mm-hmm. Both of those finishes were closer. So not only Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he's the 18th ever winner this year, just second most all time, but this finish was the third closest finish just this season at 0.006 seconds. Isn't that crazy?
It's been a nutty season. We've had so many, like you just alluded to, so many different winners on the season, so many in the playoffs, non-playoff drivers winning and spoiling a potential chance for someone to move on to the next cutoff level. So yeah, it's been an odd season all around. Makes it fun to watch, but overall just oddities galore.
Quietly when that big one happened, I was listening for all the playoff drivers that were taken out. 1, 2, 3. And it just adds the intrigue. And again, we know how they've stacked up now going into the Roval, but as that's happening, it's just another element with this playoff system of why and who you should keep tabs on during these races. Love them, hate them. Some of these drivers, we know you do, but here's one for you. And Crasher, we didn't talk about this, but our lovely 10-year-old daughter, who has become a motorsports fiend and a NASCAR fiend as well. Anything with an engine now, she's a big fan of. And
I wonder why.
She's a fan of drivers she knows, whether it's 2-wheel, 4-wheel, she's a fan of that. and help me get back to my point here, but the race started off this way. What, 2 or 3 laps into it, they are already 4 wide. And that was the first thing I'd ever mouthed watching this race was, Dad, wow, that was quick. They're already 4 wide. Where's this coming from, man? A 10-year-old, okay? And I get it. Some of you NASCAR hounds have kids that could do that at 8 months, but not my 10-year-old be able to call that out. Dad, it just seems like Daytona and Talladega, it's always the last 10 or 15 laps when the big one happens. I'm not setting her up. I'm not teeing her up for this stuff either. And then she saw that finish. She says, Dad, that wasn't even the closest finish this year. Remember Kansas? Who the hell? What the hell are we raising here, man?
A statistician.
Yeah. Oh, her Cardinals blow, her Sun Devils blow, her Wildcats blow down in Tucson. So, hey, gravitate towards some freaking motorsports.
When you live in Phoenix, that's really all you have to gravitate towards. Yes.
Yeah.
Because stick and ball in the Phoenix area typically, I mean, yes, the Diamondbacks won the World Series last year, but typically stinks. All
right. So my point was the entertainment factor for a 10-year-old from 1 to 10, 10 being the ultimate entertainment factor, the ultimate in entertainment. She was at about a 4 for this race. I just want something to happen.
Oh.
And she never said wreck or accident or anything or yellow or red. She never said that. But if Talladega was your first race to watch, I understand where she's coming from. Because if you don't know the nuances of this track, there was just a lot of stacked racing until that last stage. That's what it was. But if you're a 10-year-old and you're watching the Roval or you're watching Watkins Glen or you're watching Bristol, there's a lot of things going on there that can keep your attention. But for a 10-year-old, Talladega was like watching freaking Major League Baseball most of the time. Like, what's that, man?
That's putting it a little bit much.
I didn't expect that ending to the whole
right.
story. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Another bingo card for you, Freak Nation. Major League Baseball and Talladega in the same freaking sentence. But yeah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., again, it was that close of a finish. He didn't even know that he won. And as he was talking about going into turns 1 and 2, they were pretty confident that they won. But one reason was this saving fuel and pit strategy for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., claiming that win.
A product of everybody, just learning, race strategies. And, we're trying to spend the least amount of time on pit road, getting gas. And, if you come in a second behind somebody, but you need, a second less of fuel, then you can leave with them on pit road. And so, that was what myself and my team was trying to do. We knew that we wanted to be somewhere in the top 10. And once we got there, I was saving fuel, trying to run probably 50% throttle, just trying to save as much as I could, but still keep my track position. Ultimately, I feel like that's what won us the race. We kept our track position, we saved enough fuel, and we got to the front when we needed to pit. So we pitted basically from the lead, and then we left pit road with our group, leading, and the 9 was pushing us. If the 9, would have got out in front of us on pit road, then I would have been pushing him, and I would have probably been exactly where the 9 was, when that wreck happened. So I felt like that was the kind of the winning move of the race for us.
And Statman, I'll let you chime in on this as well. Watching Lee Diffie, Steve Letarte, and Jeff Burton call this race, getting back to that fuel mileage, I know some of the subtleties of fuel mileage racing, but what Steve Letarte and Jeff Burton were discussing regarding the minute details of running a stock car at Talladega and how the amount of fuel it can save you in areas that I had no idea. Dragging your foot on the brake. Jimmy Johnson talked about that, how it was good to see, I forget, it might have been, it was another driver who was dragging his foot on the brake, and Jimmy Johnson saying, good to see somebody else does that. It'll cost me some fuel mileage. But to hear Steve Letarte and Jeff Burton, Statman, and Lee Diffie, there's not, and I'm taking a left turn here, but them showing us the insight to some of the subtleties that is Talladega, fuel mileage racing, again, is so helpful for those that may not understand why Kyle Busch is up in second or third and then peels back to go back to 20th or 25th to save fuel.
Wait a minute. So you're asking me, I agree that I've said almost after every race that NBC explains things that nobody else does. And it seems to me, my impression, that when you watch Fox, it's just, gee, golly, these guys are going fast. And you don't get that kind of what you just described, that kind of explanation. When you get finished, you feel like you learned something. And for me, that's important in racing. That's just one of the things, just learning how fuel it works and how just what Stenhouse said, that if I need a second less of fuel, I can make up a second on the pits and come out with the guy that I'm behind. And that second on the racetrack might be a couple hundred feet. And that's a lot. You got to work on several laps to make up that difference. So, yeah, you learn a lot, and that's invaluable, even if the race is boring.
Freak Nation, 18 different winners for the Cup Series this year. Is that a record? That's next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add 1 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. 1 bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Rev up your passion for speed. MAVTV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, MAVTV Go has something for everyone. MAVTV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
This freaking segment is brought to you by our friends at Lucas Oil. Now, what automobile do you have in the garage? I bet Lucas Oil could keep that thing fat and happy and on the road. From everyday car care, heavy-duty trucking to agriculture, hot rods, classic cars, motorcycles, and marine, Lucas Oil has what you need to keep those engines, interiors, and exteriors looking like and running like they're supposed to be. For more information, go to the website, lucasoil.com, and find the perfect Lucas Oil product. Keep your rides on the road. Freak Nation, coming up, Michael McDowell, who sat on the pole for Sunday's Talladega race. He joins us here in the Freak Nation. We're also going to hear from Daniel Suarez, Christopher Bell, Ron Capps, NHRA Funny Car team owner, driver, champion. He'll be here in the Freak Nation. And Jesse Love Jr. will be joining us in the second hour, Xfinity Series pilot running for his first championship, Xfinity Series for RCR. I mentioned going into the last break, we've got 18 different winners this year in the NASCAR Cup Series. You might think that's a record, but Richie, that's not a record, is it?
It's not. No, remember back in the first year of the next gen car, back in 2022, and how often we talked about during that year, how it was Fox's marketing campaign heading into 2022, if you remember correctly, was the best season ever. And it was in a lot of ways because there was 19 different winners in 2022, which is still the record. This year, as we mentioned back in the first segment, there's been 18 already this year. And there's what, seven races left? Six
Five,
races left?
I believe.
Only five?
Wait.
Oh my, six?
Yeah, 1, 2,
5. You're right. I think it's 5. 4. Hell, I don't know.
I know. We're in October. There's not that many weekends left.
Well, there are a couple of questions here I'd like to ask. And one in particular is that a good thing for NASCAR? Because you don't have the Kyle Larson, what was that? The 2021, that was the 2021 championship when he was just nailing it with all of those wins. Is that good for NASCAR? Do you give a damn if someone runs away with it, at least with the race wins? Do we need something like, do you need a Dallas? Oh my goodness. Do you need a New England Patriots? Do you need who's been running the table?
We had that. Yeah, right.
You know,
we had that with Jimmy Johnson. And I do find it interesting that since the Jimmy Johnson era, there has been no back-to-back winner in NASCAR. That to me is fascinating enough. The parity has stepped up, but this car has changed things drastically as well. The tiniest change to a setup makes such a massive difference on track, and the way the drivers have needed to adapt to that over the last couple of years has produced this parity. It's not as easy to adapt to as the older car. It's just a different driving machine altogether. So I think, yes, in a sense, it is very good to have parity. It's good to be surprised. It's good to not know who's going to win every single race. But having said that, I mean, it was fun watching Jimmy Johnson dominate so much and having that team to either root for or hate. You don't really have a lot of that now.
Statman, I'm not sure if it was you. I think it was you. When Johnson was winning those races, winning the championships, is absorb it, take it in. We're witnessing greatness with Jimmy Johnson, and it didn't seem to bother you that he was sweeping the championships and race wins.
No, it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me when the Patriots, especially when they had their undefeated season. In fact, I was so disappointed when they lost the Super Bowl because I missed out on a chance of witnessing history. And as far as that's concerned, when Kyle Larson was beating everybody on his way to his championship in 2021, he didn't get the championship until his pit crew got him out of the pits before anybody else in the last race and allowed him to win. So all of the wins that he had throughout, 150 months of racing, he needed help to get the championship. And to me, that was interesting. That was exciting.
Freak Nation coming up. When Talladega doesn't feature a number of wrecks or big ones, sub-big one, sub-big one, sub-big one, the headline leading into the race was the lawsuit between Denny Hamlin, 2311 and Front Row Motorsports with NASCAR. That was the talk of the track. And I'm sure many at NASCAR was hoping that Talladega, the race itself, would cover up a lot of those headlines. I don't think the race did. So much so that we're going to spend a segment or two coming up this hour. Michael McDowell joining us next. In that next segment, we're going to hear from Denny Hamlin, 2311's attorney. And we've also got some background with Crasher there at Talladega. And I was there for a little bit, hearing some of the drivers talk about it, some that would not say a word about it, some that were annoyed to talk about it. We'll talk about that. But briefly, getting back to those 18 race wins, I don't have a timer. I should have been better prepared for this. But between Richie, you know who the race winners are. Right?
Yes, I know. I think I have a pretty good idea.
Okay, you know who they are.
Yes.
Wait, there's a mulligan in here. Do we count Austin Dillon or no?
No.
Yes.
What? Oh, yes, you're right. That's true.
He still has a win. If you look at the statistics on NASCAR.com, he's still credited with that win. He didn't get the win.
That's right. He's got the win. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So I would think there are 18 race winners, different race winners. I would think between the three of us that we can get all 18, right? And again, this wasn't pre-planned. I didn't call Statman, or I'm not texting anybody right now saying, hey, man, here's 18. Do you think we can do it?
I think you're going to miss one. I think you guys are going to do pretty well, but you're going to miss one of them, I think.
Okay. Crasher, you want to go first? Richie,
sure.
Residential Millennial. I know you guys are killing pens and paper and so forth. Can you write these things down?
Yeah,
make sure that we get 18.
Yeah, we're good. I got a pen here.
Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, Crasher. Let's see if we can name all 18 different Cup winners for 2024.
Larson, Blaney, Bowman, Byron, Cindric, Logano, Dillon, Stenhouse, Suarez, Chastain, Reddick.
Jesus.
My word.
It's 11 so far, Crash. You're doing pretty well.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, but now I'm suffering. Did Elliott win this year?
Chase Elliott did win.
Yeah.
Okay, so put Elliott in there. Oh, nah.
She say Hamlin?
I think so, yes.
Did you say
Nope,
Hamlin?
I did not say Hamlin. I said Reddick. I did not say him. So thank you, Kenny, for bailing me out.
13 you're at.
There's Christopher Bell. Didn't he win a race?
Christopher Bell, yeah, he won Phoenix this year back in March.
Hamlin, didn't he win a race?
We got Hamlin.
Oh, you mentioned Hamlin?
Yep.
Did you get Logano? Did you mention
Yes,
Logano?
I got Logano.
Logano.
Byron?
Got Byron.
We talked about this going into the show. Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher. Oh, goodness, yes. Chase Briscoe.
Yep.
There we go. There's two more. Yeah, you have two more left.
Chase Elliott.
I believe Chase Elliott.
Got Elliott. Harrison Burton.
There we go.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
I already got Stenhouse.
Already got Stenhouse Jr. So we're missing
Austin Dillon.
Got Austin.
We already got Austin
You
Dillon.
didn't mention him in your first soliloquy there. You didn't mention him.
Who are we missing?
Yeah.
We're missing one guy, but I don't remember who it is.
Keselowski?
Keselowski.
Oh, yes, it's Keselowski.
Bang! Woohoo!
There it is.
Good. Thank you, Crash. Crash for the save.
Well done.
My gosh.
Well, let's be honest. You just go the Hendrick team, the Penske team, and then you just go with whoever else you can remember.
Oh, that's a good. So take that trivia out Monday afternoon or Tuesday or to work, Freak Nation, and see if your favorite NASCAR hounds can.
Ty Gibbs going to be the 19th.
Kyle Busch has to be the 19th. Come on.
Hold on. He won did Gibbs win the All-Star race? He won something.
Yeah, he won the
Or
All-Star
duel or
Open. He won
something?
the All-Star Open, but that doesn't count. That's an
Okay.
exhibition race. Crowd's going to go wild when Ty Gibbs wins the race.
Gosh. Oh, man, the personality of his shoe.
What, Elliott or
Ty
Gibbs?
Well, Elliott's at least a shoe with a sock. Oh, man.
Are you sure?
Well,
Maybe a shoe and a shoelace.
Uh-oh. Freak Nation, Michael McDowell. We caught up with him just after he won the pole. Part of the conversation, of course, is Talladega, but we go in depth with this guy. The father of 5, got his start in open wheel sports cars, start and park in NASCAR, showed some success with Front Row Motorsports, 6 poles this year. How many poles does he have in his lifetime in the NASCAR Cup Series? 6. Great conversation with Michael McDowell. That's next. Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios as I get to the second break. Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
So Michael McDowell, you were walking back here to our press room, and I said, rinse and repeat, bro. I could sit down and ask the same questions that I asked last time in April, other than, are you going to pull that same move this time if it comes down to that last lap?
Not the same move, because that one didn't work out. But I hope I'm in position, to be defending, coming to the white flag, coming to the checkered. You always learn. You always learn, what you could have done different, how you'd approached it different. And so much of super speedway racing, especially when you're racing Brad Keselowski, who's won like 36 times at Talladega. I forget what the number is, but it's like 9, right? 7 or 9 times. He's very witty and he knows what he's doing. And so a lot of it's mental, right? A lot of it's making that decision at the right time. And, so I look at it and I study it and I figure out how I would have done it differently. Because it didn't work out. Take the people's perception aside of, being a late block and a bad move and all that. I was doing everything I could to try to win the race. And the way I look at it is that I didn't make the right moves to win the race. Not, do you stay that aggressive? I'll stay that aggressive. 100% I'm making the move again. Just going to do it better. Right. And that's how you look at it. Right. I don't get to the point where I go, oh man, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. I should have just finished second. That's never going to be my mindset of, you just got to figure out how to do it better and make it count. And hopefully we are in that spot to make it count tomorrow.
Yeah, you're not an athlete if you're going for second place and being okay with that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I think that, you still got to learn, right? You still got to learn from the mistakes that you made. And I think it was a mistake. Not the approach, not the attitude, not the mindset, but the actual moves needed to be in a different sequence than what I did it. And so you just learn from that.
Okay. It sounds so easy when you say, okay, we just learned from that. You're talking about processing thousands of seconds in just that amount of time and making something work versus not work. For the normal person like me, that's just not possible.
Yeah, and I understand. And that's what makes Brad, for example, and there's others, I'm just highlighting him because of how many times he's won here, so good.
Yeah.
His processor is extremely fast. That's the best way to describe it. There's a couple guys that are just next level when it comes to processors. Now, I'm not saying ability. I'm not saying hand-eye coordination. I'm saying their brain capacity and speed of it is better than some. And so what I have to do is run through 100 different scenarios that last lap and think about each one of those on what you would do and how you would react and what are the what I would call triggers to make you react one way or another. And so I think I have to be more of a student, if that makes sense, and work at it where maybe it comes a little bit natural to Brad. I don't know. I don't know what he's like behind closed doors, right? And he's cagey enough. I don't think he'll let me sit down and talk to him about it. But I think he also knows that when we come here that I'm someone that he'll have to beat to win the race, right? And so we've been close to each other the last 4 or 5 times here, and he's starting to figure me out, and I'm starting to figure him out, and so it only gets more difficult.
More difficult, but more fun.
More fun for sure. Yeah. Tremendous amount of respect. I mean, when somebody's won that many times at one place, you can't just go, oh, it's a coincidence, or he's really lucky. He's not lucky. I mean, if you win as many times as he's won down here, you're doing something right, and you're doing it right consistently. And so he's somebody that I study often, and Denny Hamlin, somebody that I study often. You don't win 3 Daytona 500s by chance, right? And so you're always learning, always growing.
When you look at what you've done here at this track, you've got 6 poles this year. And as Erica Enders said on our show last week,
usually like F, mother F, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Sorry. I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
God, why aren't you in the playoffs, Michael?
Yeah. The reality is there's too many missed opportunities. We've had the speed and we've had the cars to do it this year. We just missed opportunities. And when I say that we've had cars and we've had the speed, when I say that there's been opportunities, there's been races we could have won and haven't capitalized on it. The difference between us and a Hendrick Motorsports or Joe Gibbs Racing is they typically have that kind of speed every weekend. And it increases your chances of getting it right. It increases your odds of getting it right. I'm not saying that it's easier for them because winning cup races are extremely difficult. But, when Denny Hamlin has the fastest car and he's the fastest driver. I don't want to take anything away from him. 25 of those weekends, he's probably going to win 4 or 5, right? Where I feel like we've been in that spot maybe 4 times this year, and we just haven't nailed it, right? And so, it's a bummer. It really is. And but same thing, you just take it, each year and each lesson that you learned of what not to do, and you hope that you get another opportunity to capitalize on it.
One of the things that caught my ear in this press conference, and I didn't think about this, I didn't know it until I heard from you, your team owner, Bob Jenkins. You dropped millions. You said he has spent millions.
Yeah, he probably didn't want me saying that. His wife was probably listening, so I'm going to be in big trouble tonight.
But that's reality. That's
racing. Reality. Yes.
Unlike some other team owners that can rely on those corporate sponsors, which helps me identify with Front Row Motorsports and 2311, part of this lawsuit of we got to find different or better funding to keep our cars on the track. When team owners are spending that kind of blow over and over and over and over and over, I can only imagine what kind of predicament that puts their driver.
Yeah, it is a tough deal. And, I don't know, I'm on my way out, right? And so I'm not privileged to every conversation anymore. Right. I'd have better insight for you if I was.
I think we learned that in St. Louis. I think we were talking to you.
Yeah, and as you can tell, Bob and I spent a lot of time together. There's no hard feelings. It's just business. It's the way it goes, right?
I was going to say, let's clear that point up because you do have a great relationship.
Yeah, great relationship.
And you've helped this team grow to where they are now.
We were out there, in between the first round and second round, and talking and having a good time and hugging after the pole because it means a lot to both of us. So it's a tough deal. It is. There's a reason that they've been fighting and negotiating for the last 2 years, and where it all go, I don't know, but I do know this. This is what I can say is Bob Jenkins is extremely passionate about the sport. He loves the sport. He's not doing it because he makes money. He does it. He loses a lot of money doing it. He loves the sport. He loves the people. He loves the team that we have and what we're building and what we've done. And he's just fighting for that. And it's not, he's a good man that's done a lot of good things for a lot of people.
Sometimes, and I'm just looking at all sports, you have owners, whether it's basketball, football, it doesn't really matter. They're happy with the status quo. You have guys that from the outside come in, and I'm talking about a Bob Jenkins or a Michael Jordan, and they're like, hey, I've had experience in other business entities, and this isn't how it's done. Change is good, and we can help facilitate that. That's the way I see what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I haven't been in any of those other sports, so I don't know what it looks like, I can kind of get easily on the flip side, and I'm sure listeners can too, is that, I've been driving race cars around in circles my entire life. I haven't had to have a real job. I feel very fortunate, right? And so I can get easily on that side of like, hey, this is going really well. We should all be thankful. And I do feel that way. I really do. I'm so thankful for the opportunity I've had to live out a dream and to get paid to do it, and to not have a real job. I'm thankful for that. And so, it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in, but I'm not financially vested like they are. I'm sweat equity vested, right? I put my whole life into this, but it's different when you're an owner and you're paying the bills.
What would you do if you weren't driving race cars? What would your real job be?
Yeah, I would still be in racing. I'd be part of the team, running the team, crew chief, general manager, something like that.
Really? So an engineering mind still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love it. I love that side of it, I've always enjoyed it, and it's just what I've always done, right? So you just take your life, skills, and you take your abilities, and you take the experience you've had and what you've done. This is all I've ever done, so I don't know what else to do or what else I would do.
And Freak Nation, for those of you just finding out about Speed Freaks, 25 years we'll be celebrating. Freak Radio Network, MAV TV, YouTube, Facebook Live. 25 years in June of next year. Michael McDowell, 2004 maybe, I believe that's when it said his wedding date was. He called into our show, and it was a Sirius XM show at the time on a Saturday afternoon that Statman was producing. And somehow Statman got Michael McDowell to call in to our show when he was running sports cars on his wedding night.
Well, we didn't know it was his wedding night at the time.
Regardless.
I know. He just called anyway. Sure, I'll call you guys.
That's how far back we go, Freak Nation. So it's when Michael McDowell speaks, I'll be happy to listen. Such a fun interview. All right, Freak Nation. It got kind of gnarly with a lot of drivers this weekend, talking to them about this lawsuit between Front Row Motorsports, 2311, and NASCAR. We've got the attorney with 2311 and Denny Hamlin, that group. And we've got some insight from what other drivers are saying about this lawsuit. It's coming up next. Speed Freak Spits and Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With straight savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight savings plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detailer shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.traceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
Your Statman Scat, brought to you by STEM Stories, When Racing Goes to School and Grows Up, by Bill Wood, a.k.a. Statman. Now look, motorsports are at a crossroads, and out of the cloudy future, however, comes STEM education. Motorsports are the perfect vehicle to teach science, technology, engineering, and math to the next generation of racing fans. Get a copy of STEM Stories now at Amazon.com.
The headlines say former NBA star and team owner Michael Jordan filed an antitrust lawsuit against NASCAR this week. It's bigger than that. NASCAR is a monopoly, and breaking it up will be stupidly expensive. Oddly, if NASCAR is thrown open by a breakup, it could come down to the richest teams dominating the sport, kind of like they do now. That means Penske, Hendrick, and Gibbs winning more. Formula One solved some of these issues with spending caps. Those caps created new ways for team investors and owners to make money, and the sport has boomed because of it. NASCAR's problem isn't its monopolistic practices. NASCAR's problem is uncontrolled costs that drive away new investment for teams and NASCAR. NASCAR's teams miss the point if they continue to fight for revenue sharing. The fight should be for changes that would free teams to get their money, their own money, from anyone who will give them a check. And those checks should be coming from Wall Street and not just Madison Avenue. Peace.
Again, Statman Scat tees it up nicely for this segment, and I'm going to do my best to probably step back and let three other individuals that are smarter than me explain what is going on here. I don't want to get into minutia of this lawsuit to where your eyes are glazing over and going, what the hell are they talking about? We'll try and simplify it as much as possible. And the reason we're going to spend a segment of this, probably 2 segments on this, is it permeated everything about this race this weekend, Crasher. You were there. I was there. Some drivers were just tight-lipped. Some of them were just so tight that they shimmered because they wanted to say something. Richard Childress Racing, or Richard Childress, had a comment about having to sign the new charter agreement with NASCAR that caught a lot of people off guard. So we're going to do our best to kind of break this down for you in simple fashion where you understand what the hell's going on here. Jeffrey Kessler, who is the attorney representing, is it just 2311 or is it 2311 and
both? He's
right?
representing both in this particular lawsuit. Yeah.
Let me say this, and again, I'll let the 3 other smarter individuals get into it. Michael McDowell, in his press conference after he won the poll, dropped it out there, and it hit me like a sledgehammer. He said, Bob Jenkins, the owner of Front Row Motorsports, has spent millions and millions and millions and millions of his own money to keep Front Row Motorsports afloat. Oh my gosh, what the hell's going on here? And if I'm going to trust a driver and what he says, there might be 5 in the garage that I trust. Not many more than Michael McDowell. And he may have spoke too much there. In fact, I think he said that prior to our interview going, Bob Jenkins' wife might be a little pissed off at me talking about the millions that he spent to keep the team afloat. But when he said that, I thought, bam, there's the basis of this lawsuit, not just with Front Row, but with the ownership, team ownership in NASCAR. Statman?
Wow. I don't know that that's the case. I've said all along that the teams are fighting for the wrong thing, and that's what I indicated in my scat. They're looking for revenue sharing, and the revenue, NASCAR's main source of revenue is broadcasting contracts. And in the last 10 years, the number of viewers that determine how much money they could charge for commercials and so forth, and rights fees and all the other stuff. And you can't always believe what's posted in news stories. The ratings are down radically, 10, 20% in the last 10 years. They've held steady the last couple of years, but they're down like 5 to 6 million over the last 10 years. So, there's some changes that are happening, and the revenue model is going to change radically. Advertisers are not going to buy. They need to get into places where they can make money, and investors can make money, and Wall Street can make money, and they're not doing that. I don't know that they understand. The major teams do. I think certainly Joe Gibbs and Roger Penske and Rick Hendrick understand, but the rest of them are scrambling with the old business model.
And hold on, let me throw in RFK, just because Brad Keselowski has really turned that organization around. And I feel like the way that he has helped to bring in sponsors in a more business sense and a less just racing sense, I think he should be one of the teams mentioned, or RFK should be one of the teams mentioned, and the ones who kind of get it.
Yeah, well, RFK doesn't have the money that Gibbs and Penske and Hendrick do. They may know better, and that is maybe a split level, a different shelf than the other guys are on. But they've got to figure out a new business model because the old business model is falling apart.
Kenny, you mentioned trying to kind of dumb this down in a way for people,
Right.
because it's a lot of lawyer speak. And
I raised my hand.
Yeah, I had trouble trying to dive into everything that was going on here. So if you missed it, basically what's happening here is NASCAR is being sued by these two teams because Front Row Motorsports, 2311 Racing are saying that NASCAR is violating the antitrust part of their business. Basically, they're being called a monopoly. So here is Jeffrey Kessler. He is the lead attorney for 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports, explaining to you in the Freak Nation on Dirty Mo Media earlier this week about why NASCAR is a monopoly.
Well, the most dramatic way they're exercising it is this take it or leave it negotiating with the teams, right? Because they can know when they go to the teams, they can say, as they did on September 6th, either you accept this really bad deal, which gives all the economics to us, and you just deal with it, or go find your own racetracks, right? Where are you going to go compete, right? How are you going to exist, right? That's monopoly power. That's what the antitrust laws are designed to prohibit and prevent, that kind of abuse.
Okay, so we can go with what he says there in let's not allow this monopoly to happen. Let's allow this revenue sharing to be better with the teams so that teams can be more financially stable. But like what Statman was arguing earlier is that that's not the thing that they should be fighting for. Let's take the Formula One model if you would like. Sure, there are a certain amount of teams there, but what they did to stabilize their overspending was to put cost caps on their teams. And with that, the teams were still able to bring in great sponsorship, but keep their costs down. And then they all end up making more money in the long run. So the antitrust part of this lawsuit is one thing, but I got to go with Statman on this as well. Are they really fighting for the right things? The rights issues, the money that comes from the TV rights, is that worth fighting for overall? And are they going to win? NASCAR is undefeated in more than 70 lawsuits in their existence. This is going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, the other issue that's big here is that U.S. courts and European courts largely, but U.S. courts have said that sports leagues are generally, not always, but generally exempt, and they don't hold the same Sherman antitrust. The Sherman Act is what governs antitrust and monopolies, and they've generally said that sports leagues are exempt, like baseball in particular. But the funny part about all of this is that NASCAR is a private business. It's not sports league. So that's part of the argument that these teams are probably going to make. But I still think they're arguing for the wrong thing.
Freak Nation, there's so much to discuss here. Let's carry it over to the next segment. We're going to hear from Denny Hamlin. We're going to hear more from Jeffrey Kessler, the attorney for Front Row Motorsports and 2311. The question that everybody's asking, will Denny Hamlin and 2311, Front Row Motorsports, will they be able to race next year? We'll get into that and more. Ron Capps, Jesse Love Jr. It's big. Second hour of the Freaks coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
team has invested a lot of money, charters, building, personnel, et cetera, et cetera. With all the commitment that you've made on the financial end, do you feel like those contributions and that investment is appreciated enough by the other side?
Bueller.
Probably not.
Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Freak Nation, will Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, and the rest of the crew with Front Row Motorsports, will they be racing in 2025? We hope to at least get to some sort of avenue towards a conclusion in the next 60 minutes. We're not. Trust me. It's too far from being concluded with this new charter agreement with NASCAR and its team owners, not including 2311 and Front Row Motorsports. Coming up this hour, Jesse Love will be here in the Freak Nation, running for his first Xfinity Series championship with Richard Childress Racing. Ron Capps, NHRA Funny Car driver, team owner, championship Funny Car team owner and driver. Ron Capps will be joining us this hour. And the Roval's coming up this weekend, next weekend, depending on how you look at your week. Some of the drivers, they don't want the chaos. They think it's a gimmick. We'll hear from those drivers.
The changes.
You're right.
The changes to the Roval are a gimmick.
Yes, the changes. Getting back into our conversation in the last segment with the lawsuit between Front Row Motorsports, 2311. 2311, the majority owners are Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. Statman Scat laid it out there nicely last hour. If you didn't see that or hear that, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll have it there for you to get the insight with your Statman Scat. But Jeffrey Kessler, who is a renowned attorney that I've seen everything about this guy, but when it comes to antitrust, sports attorneys, I've seen this guy numerous times. My apologies because my memory isn't serving me correctly. What's the big lawsuit that he was involved in recently?
He's involved in the NIL kind of rights lawsuit.
Got it.
With the
college players.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So Michael Jordan and crew went out and hired this guy. Evidently knows his stuff when it comes to those two topics in particular. And we're trying to dumb this down for me and some of you out there when it comes to understanding this. Because really,
none of us have Kessler's knowledge of what's going on. So let me add something before we get too crazy here.
Right.
In doing some of the research, Bob Jenkins, they say he's a restaurant owner. He owns more than 250 restaurants, Taco Bell's, KFC's, A&W root beers, all sorts of stuff all over the country. The craziest part of this is that his food business is called Charter Foods.
Come on.
That's such a great nugget.
When I saw that, I had to compose myself. And when Michael McDowell just mentioned that Jenkins was spending his own money, I would have thought that his cars would be plastered with KFC and Taco Bell and A&W root beer or some version of that, because that's the new business, that the B2B and not B to consumer, business to consumer. It's becoming a B2B reality. So I was trying to think, I don't know if any of his cars have had that sponsorship on them. Maybe some of the people in our chat rooms can tell us that. But yeah, there was no reason for him other than this is the way I've always done it, so I'm going to keep doing it that way. There's no reason for him to do it that way anymore. That's the point.
Loves is a major player with Michael McDowell's number 34 car and with Front Row Motorsports. And I know Loves has some chain restaurants inside of it, whether it's Taco Bell, Subway, A&W. So maybe there's a little, B2B there.
Exactly. Maybe that's the connection that makes sense. Because in reality, all the money that's being poured into any motorsport, Formula One, NASCAR, it doesn't make sense unless you're doing business with somebody to recoup that money. That's whether you're Penske, Gibbs, or Hendrick, or John Force, or anybody in motorsports, you've got to be able to recoup that money. Otherwise, the sponsors aren't going to get on board.
Depending on if I took my Adderall, sometimes thoughts will come and go, and a thought just came to me, which tells me I didn't take it. Of all the owners to file a lawsuit, and maybe, again, it's just me trying to make sense of all this, Michael Jordan, 2311, and Front Row kind of makes sense, but really Michael Jordan does. Michael Jordan is relatively a new owner in NASCAR. Hendricks, Gibbs, Jack Roush, Penske, the foundation that they've created inside NASCAR. Again, pardon me as I kind of work this out as we talk. Them going after NASCAR will have a bigger effect, damage, if this doesn't work out in the owner's favor than Michael Jordan. However, with Michael Jordan, depending on what side of the lawsuit you're on, you really don't want this guy going after you, or you really want this guy going after you. It's Michael freaking Jordan.
Yeah, one of the biggest names globally. But they really don't want Kessler and Curtis.
Curtis Polk.
Polk, yeah. They don't want them, especially Kessler. If Kessler can take down the NCAA, what can he do with NASCAR? And NASCAR is vulnerable in this unless they can prove that our private business deserves the same antitrust protections that major sports leagues like baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, and some and degree the MLS, that we deserve the same thing that they do, even though all the money comes to us and goes to pay for our yachts in Daytona.
Oh, snap. I will say that it was interesting to hear from several people that I trust. A common theme in the NASCAR family, shall we say, this weekend was that, hey, some of these owners did sign this contract because this has been a successful business for them over so many decades that it's like, why not sign it? Yes, are we just too satisfied with the status quo? Potentially, but it has given a great source of income to them and all of their employees. And they didn't want to risk having to eventually say, hey, to their employees, we're not racing next year just because we don't agree with this new charter agreement. They didn't want to do that to their employees. So there are other tentacles to looking, or just other sides to look at this story from. And I mean, Richard Childress, it's interesting to me. He signed it, and now we're hearing this weekend, Bob Pockras had a great interview with him, completely, like Kenny said earlier, took everyone by surprise, in which he said, yeah, I get this thing at 6/27, and I'm being told I have to sign it by 12 or I won't have my charters. I won't have my team next year. So yeah, that kind of puts the fear of God in them. They need to sign it. So there's a few things, like Statman said, this is going to get crazy in the courts.
Yeah,
will it go to a settlement? I don't know, to avoid some of this mess. We'll see.
What you just said, Crash, is that really is going to be another important key factor in this. the major teams, I keep bringing up Gibbs, Penske, and Hendrick. The major teams want to get beyond this because they have so much more at stake in that they're already doing B2B business, especially Gibbs. Gibbs signed a deal with venture capitalists earlier this year that are doing business with Toyota and all this intertwining of things that are far beyond who won at Talladega Sunday. So they all right, cool. Here, sign this. Leave me alone. I want to I'm making money here. Leave me alone. I think it's the smaller teams, like JTG and who won today, and 2311 and Front Row, and all of these smaller teams are the ones that haven't figured this out or don't have the ability to get in there and do the B2B stuff that Gibbs, Hendrick, and Penske are doing.
Freak Nation, I think we're going to bump Ron Capps to next week. We had every intention to go 2 segments in this. We still got so much to hit. We're going to hear from Denny Hamlin, suing NASCAR, running for a championship. Come on, man. And more from Jeffrey Kessler, the attorney. It's great insight from individuals smack dab in the middle of the step. And where's Trackhouse in all this? Where's Pitbull?
Trackhouse.
Got to break. More freaks next.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio. Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add 1 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. 1 bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
This freaking segment is brought to you by our friends at Lucas Oil. Now, what automobile do you have in the garage? I bet Lucas Oil could keep that thing fat and happy and on the road. From everyday car care, heavy-duty trucking to agriculture, hot rods, classic cars, motorcycles, and marine, Lucas Oil has what you need to keep those engines, interiors, and exteriors looking like and running like they're supposed to be. For more information, go to the website, lucasoil.com, and find the perfect Lucas Oil product. Keep your rides on the road. Freak Nation, we continue our conversation regarding the lawsuit. It's worthy of this continued discussion, Freak Nation, because it can affect next year and beyond with your favorite drivers. In particular, 2311 with Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace, Front Row Motorsports. Jeffrey Kessler is the attorney representing both of those entities. And Joe Gibbs, Hendrick, Penske, Trackhouse, JTG, RFK, Childress. All of these teams have signed this new charter agreement, but two in particular have not, and they have filed an antitrust lawsuit against NASCAR. Jeffrey Kessler talking about 2025 and the injunction that they hope to create.
They are both determined they will compete no matter what, right? It determines how they will be able to compete. You know, if we get our injunction, they'll be able to take charters and compete as a charter team. If they don't get the injunction, they will have to compete as open teams next year, but they will be there no matter what. They're not giving up on NASCAR, at least for next year. I don't know how long you can keep competing as an open team, but the idea would be for some time they can do that, and they will at least go out trying to do that next year to start. But we hope it doesn't come to that. We expect that we have a good chance of getting our injunction, and then they will just compete as charter teams.
So you basically, if they don't get the injunction and they compete as open teams, then you're continuing to just basically spend a ton of money that you're fighting against having the need to spend in the first place. Oh.
Now, a bigger issue here is, imagine if you are a sponsor and you've given 2311, for example, or Front Row or anybody else, you've given them $15 million. That charter guarantees you will be one of the 36 cars in the race.
Right.
Now, what if you don't sign a charter? The charter's taken away, and you have to compete for those final 4 spots. And my $15 million that I've given you is not as strong as it used to be. So at some point, the teams are going to have to say, or have to tell me, the sponsor, here's your money back, or I'm going to do something else to make sure we can continue to do business based on what I sold you. They don't want to say we're fighting to get a revenue share. Yeah, screw you. We want to be in the race. That's what we paid you the money to do. And if they can't guarantee that, they could plan to be in the race all they want to. But Michael Jordan's $1 billion is going to disappear real quick if he's got to pay all the bills.
And we're talking McDonald's, DoorDash, those Nike even. So, yeah, those are the companies that are saying, hey, where's my money going?
Denny Hamlin on trying to win a championship and suing NASCAR. What do they call it? Strange bedfellows?
I think it's pretty simple. You just got to prepare the best that you can and do the best job that you can on Sunday. I think that, I would really it's more of a question for my team, and I would ask them, has their driver never not been prepared? Has he never given 100%? Never. Certainly I talked about it probably a year or so ago when it came down to this, and I started becoming more comfortable with whatever the result is, because I knew that, no matter what, whether I win a championship or not, I always was going to make sure I could sleep at night knowing that I gave it my all for my team. And certainly there's been some circumstances over time that I haven't been able to control, but I've learned to not let those situations affect me. Certainly this is a situation I can control, but I always give the team proper preparation and make sure that when I get in the race car on Sunday, they know through my actions on the track that I'm 100% in it and focused.
There's the closest comparison I can make to that real quick. Denny Hamlin racing in NASCAR while suing the sport he's racing for. Brian Flores, the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, he is now the defensive coordinator of the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings, and he is still, his lawsuit is still ongoing with the National Football League after 2.5+ years. And that's the closest comparison I can make, which is, well, it just doesn't happen. And one of the things that Jeffrey Kessler talked about too, that I want to add on to this and make sure we get him to weigh in on, is you guys were just talking about these smaller teams and why are they signing on? You mentioned Trackhouse, Kenny, among others.
Right.
He talks about Jeffrey Kessler, the attorney for the team suing NASCAR. He talks about 2016, and he talks about how many smaller teams were chartered at that time. And he explains that those teams basically no longer exist because of these antitrust practices happening in NASCAR.
In 2016, they started what's called a charter system, where the teams could pay millions of dollars to have the right to compete. There were 15 teams in 2016. 9 of them are already out of business and had to be replaced because they can't afford to put in tens of millions of dollars a year into these teams and pay the drivers. And all the money goes to the France family. Right? That's how NASCAR is run. So the teams can barely make it, and the drivers make even less because they're just getting a piece of what the teams get. So something had to change. On September 6th, NASCAR, using its monopoly, went to all the teams at 5 o'clock and said, here's a 100-page agreement. Either accept it by 6 or you cannot have a charter to compete. Most of the teams folded because they couldn't afford to fight NASCAR. They couldn't risk their franchise. They couldn't risk their employees. 2 teams, my clients, did not fold. That's Front Row, and that's 2311.
Real quick, wow. I have a list. Are you ready for a list here from 2016 of the teams that no longer exist?
I do want to know this, yes.
Okay, here we go. 2016, ladies and gentlemen. Teams that no longer exist, or at least exist in a different facet. Okay, Stewart-Haas Racing, gone after this year. Tommy Baldwin Racing doesn't exist anymore. Front Row Motorsports is suing NASCAR now. Go Fast Racing. Bobby Labonte was the driver that year for Go Fast. Gone. Richard Petty Motorsports doesn't exist. It's now Legacy Motor Club. RFK Racing now has, or Roush Fenway now has Keselowski with them. BK Racing doesn't exist anymore. Furniture Row Racing won the championship with Martin Truex Jr. and doesn't exist anymore. And that was 8 years ago, man. And all these small teams are gone or have merged in some way, shape, or form.
And think about this. Wow. I mean, NASCAR, stock car racing was formed from the grassroots of stock cars.
And runners, guys breaking the law.
Grassroots. Liquid grass. That's what they're running.
They were running between the grass on the third, hustling booze.
Yep. Again,
don't get confused. These charters aren't franchises, and Kessler kind of dropped that in there. That's going to be at the core of this. This is not the same as a franchise, the exclusive right to do business in a specific place. These are charters that, the argument is that these charters don't have any value. This is part of NASCAR's monopoly. That's what they're going to argue in court.
Freak Nation.
How much? We don't
Pressure.
have time, do
Yep,
we?
we got a break.
Yeah. I was going to say, how much do these the value of these Stewart-Haas charters, is it down or up with this?
I think they were down. It's about $25 million or so, expectedly, although nobody's really saying, which is insane.
Freak Nation, we're going to put the pause button on this conversation regarding this lawsuit, but
it'll go on for months.
It's overwhelming inside these media centers and with these drivers. I don't care who you are. Jesse Love running for an Xfinity Series championship. Dude may be, 20 years old? Acts like he's 35. He's incredible. Next, Speed Freaks pitch, Lucas Oil.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Nation, we caught up with Jesse Love just prior to the playoffs getting cranking. And he's running for an Xfinity Series championship for RCR, another one of those young drivers that just seems to have figured it out so early in not just their life outside the car, but inside the race car. So Jesse Love joining us now, Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios. Freak Nation, he's back with the Freaks. Jesse Love, of course, now in the playoffs for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And Jesse, a lot of drivers who've been in the playoffs many, many years, many times, say they race differently in the playoffs. You've never raced in the playoffs for the Xfinity Series. So have you guys talked about racing any differently now that you're in the playoffs?
Well, I got here doing one thing, so I don't know why I would want to switch it up now that I'm here, is my whole thought process. I mean, I think, do you take it round to round? Yeah, probably. I feel like right now I'm in a spot where I have a lot of confidence on my side and feel like I don't have to think about it too much. And overall, things are pretty good. I got really fast cars. Everybody at RCR is doing a good job, and Danny's, bringing fast cars to the racetrack and makes my job easier. So I think all in all, my main thought process is this first round, not make any mistakes, keep ourselves in it. I think if we just kind of do our deal, we'll kind of breeze through the first round, knock on wood. But the second round, for the round of 8, it's going to be a little bit tougher, and I'm going to have to maybe have some things go our way, of course. But at the same time, if I can win one of these races in the first round, pads that cushion in the round of 8, and then the round of 8, obviously just need to, make it happen and have good results. And I think if we maximize the day every single time we go to the racetrack, that we have a really good shot at going to Phoenix. And obviously, I think if we go to Phoenix, that we are as capable as anybody of winning the championship.
I got to ask, Jesse Love on the pole at Atlanta, how many times today in this media scrum have you said that exact thing that you just said to us?
Yeah, a good bit. It's maybe it's not like a broken record, but I feel like my head's, screwed on pretty straight right now and kind of know what I am thinking and I know what I need to think. So, I haven't really had to bounce back and forth between thought process a whole lot in the last month.
I want to piggyback on that. You've already talked about confidence. You've talked about how you're in a good place. You feel like you and the team are in a good place. I will never forget seeing you on the grid pre-race at Martinsville this past spring. And wow, were you relaxed. I believe you were singing some music to yourself and just having fun with the PA. I don't think I've ever seen a driver in his rookie season that relaxed partway through the season. What is it about your approach to racing that just seems, again, it seems simple, but it translates to good stuff out on the track?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I feel like if I stress out about it, it doesn't do me any favors, right? So at the same time, again, I don't feel like I ever race for myself. There's a lot more to race for than my own, self-pride. So I feel like when you take yourself out of the equation, it takes a lot of stress off your shoulders. And that's kind of been my thought process this whole time. And even the playoffs, again, I want to win. And it would be great for my own confidence and brand and this and that and the other thing and how good it make me feel. But I feel like what makes me, when I sit back and kind of reflect on why I would feel good about it, it's because there's a lot of people at RCR that I want to make proud, and there's a lot of people that deserve it, right? So, you look at the car chiefs and the crew chiefs get, Danny Stockman gets pretty wound up, right? But you look at, most people on pit road, they want to win, but they're not sitting there so stressed out and tensed up, right? Because they're part of the team. And I feel like when I see drivers that are super stressed out and it's about me, I feel like you're sometimes racing for the wrong reason, right? So my main thing is to just, again, race for more than myself. And when I feel like I'm doing that, I'm not so amped up and stressed out. And I feel like it helps me make, calmer decisions on the racetrack and off the racetrack after the race. But yeah, that's my main reason where I think the, calmness comes from.
Jesse, you seem so wise beyond your years. You are older spiritually and mentally than you are physically, it seems like, because your answers to questions are more sophisticated than
again, I'm going to go back to a rookie Xfinity driver. Does that come from your dad? Does that come from somebody else in your family with prior racing experience? Or is that just plain who you are?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's who I am. I feel like I was raised a certain way, and my dad, all the life lessons are quotes, right? And lessons learned and things like that, right? So maybe I think a little bit like that because of that. But no, at the same time, I do a lot of, I feel like at this level, right, where it's so second nature to do what we do on the racetrack, right? We can all drive a car really fast, and I feel like you have to find an edge somewhere else in a sense. And I feel like where I find that edge is kind of upstairs in my thought process, and not everybody sees the other side of me where I do get stressed out over certain things, and I can be down the dumps and have the ebbs and flows of my emotions, and I'm still really human, right? But at the same time, I'm really lucky right now going into the playoffs where I'm in a really good headspace and feel really confident in my team, and I'm in a good mood, and all that stuff's going well. And did I hit a few months there where I wasn't in the best mood and things weren't like that? Absolutely. But I feel like I, put a lot of pressure on myself to pull myself out of that slump so I can go in these playoffs and, have a clearer mind.
Jesse Love of Shane Van Gisbergen, highly decorated driver from across the water. Do you learn anything from chasing him down? Do you find any weakness in his game? How do you figure out to catch him in these playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, elephant in the room, like, there's 6 weeks a year where he's the guy to beat. And other than that, I don't race against him a whole lot. He did a phenomenal job at Darlington. He really maximized his car potential there, and that was a big step forward for him. And I actually we both ran to the top 10 most of the day and raced against him a lot, and he did a really good job there. But other than that, I mean, obviously on the road courses, we've had a few battles this year, and, Chicago and Sonoma racing for the lead there and racing for the win at Chicago. Definitely learn a good bit from him. It's more so just the way he's able to maneuver around the road courses, right? And his technique is really perfected. So that's something that realistically I'm probably a year and a half to 2 years away from getting to that point on a road course. I still feel like there's times where I can outdrive him in certain road course situations, but for the most part, and he'd be the first to say it, he's the most perfected in that craft, right? So I commented on it with, Connor winning Watkins Glen and Shane, kind of people like Connor and Shane that are really good at road courses. What they do is they level everybody up, right? Because we all want to get to that point. And when you have somebody come in and like just blitz the field and they're up here and everybody else is like 2 steps behind them, it is a kick in the gut, but at the same time, it pushes us to be better. And obviously, we're all going to get to that point eventually, right? There's always going to be guys that are better on road courses than others. But I feel like just the fact that he's run the way he's running, him and Connor, makes everybody else kind of step up to a new level, right? We're all really competitive, and we're all going to find a way. Well, there is a will, there's a way. So I feel like I'm working really hard on that right now to get to that point, because those are 6 races in the year where those are huge opportunities for points. And the guys that are going to get to that SVG Connor level the fastest are going to have a lot easier every year.
On the other side of that coin, Jesse Love, what do you bring to the battle in the ovals that maybe he can't match?
It's kind of one of those deals where all he's done his whole life is road racing, right? And all I've done my whole life is oval racing. So what we see on the road course is what he sees on the oval. And obviously he has a lot more races throughout the year to work on his craft to get to that level. And it's going to take the oval guys a little bit longer to get there because he has more opportunities to learn on the oval than we do on the road courses. I think that, again, it's just ability, right? To do certain things with the car on an oval. Again, we're chasing hundredths, right? On a road course right now to get to that level, we're chasing tenths of a second, right? So there's just a lot of ways that I can gain 100th here and 100th there, or 1,000th here and 1,000th there. That obviously adds up, and then the racecraft portion of it as well. But yeah, I think that it's kind of just really natural, right? That he is really good on the road courses and we're better on the ovals, but like he's going to get better on the ovals, we're going to get better on the road courses as well. I'm kind of speaking on behalf of the non-SVG and Connors Villages of the world and AJ Allmenningers, right? We're going to get to that level just like he's going to get to our level eventually as well, because he has a lot of talent and he's very good at what he does.
Freak Nation, NASCAR is hoping for chaos at the Roval. Don't believe me? Well, we'll hear from the horse's mouth next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
Rev up your passion for speed. Mav TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, Mav TV Go has something for everyone. Mav TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
This freaking segment is brought to you by good friends at General Tires. Now through the end of October, buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires and get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Need more information? Go to the website, GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire for speed freaks for the last 2 decades. Freak Nation, NASCAR is hoping for chaos come Sunday at the Roval. There are 3 new sharp turns. There's elevation on this track. When Hall of Famer Ricky Rudd took a Toyota out there for a spin, Hall of Famer, and listen, I know Ricky Rudd hasn't raced competitively for many, many years, but when Rudd talks about going out on the new Charlotte Roval design, he says there's a spot on the track where you really don't know where you are.
He says he can't see what's coming up over the bend, the 35-foot elevation change. Like, wait, what? Where's the track?
Some pretty freaking memorable finishes there at the Charlotte Roval. And a number of drivers, they're, I would say, split, Crasher, on the changes.
I would agree with that. Well, we're going to hear from a couple of sound bites coming up, but I like how Daniel Suarez is welcoming of the change. He knows it's probably going to create some chaos, but the bottom line is change can be good. And he feels that the changes that they're making, whether it's the elevation, whether it's changing the braking zones, adding a little bit of a chicane or enhancing the chicane, I should say, on the front straightaway of the oval part of the Roval. He says, you know what? Change is good. And it makes drivers up their game. And it just makes them step up as in their craft as drivers. So the cream will always rise. And that's what we should see coming up this weekend.
Here's Daniel Suarez talking about the Roval and the new design.
Yeah, at least in the simulator is that way. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm happy. I'm happy that SMI and everyone in NASCAR is allowing these kind of changes, because if you think about it, we've been racing already the Roval for a handful of years, and it's been amazing. We all have enjoyed it so much. But a little change like this always, in my mind, spice things a little bit. So I'm happy. I'm happy that we are always continue to think outside the box a little bit. I think this makes the sport excited.
That's good as a view at Atlanta.
Course, that's coming from a road course specialist. Crasher, go ahead.
Well, another thing he said, it started, I think we cut in right as he was talking about the simulator. No driver has been able to race this outside of a passenger vehicle car on its own. It's been all simulator work. So it will be interesting to see how the simulator with the changes to this track, how that translates to the guys once they get into practice mode come Saturday.
Denny Hamlin discussing the Roval chaos.
Yeah, I think it's set up for chaos. Truthfully, I think that they were very strategic in making sure that they, created us, put us to a decision where what might be fast, the normal racing line will be fast, but there's going to be an option to shortcut it and just wipe out whoever's in front of you. So I think, there's just, there's what other reason would we have changed it other than to create more chaos and things like that. And I think that it certainly will be that way.
Stat man, that's exactly what you want to hear. Just drive right through a driver of these new sharp turns at the Roval. And do we see an Austin Dillon type move on one of these new turns, Statman?
No, because there's too much at stake now. You're not trying to get into the playoffs. You're trying to advance to the smaller, like the semifinals of the championship playoffs. So I don't think anybody's going to take any untoward chances like Austin Dillon did, just knocking people out of the way to try to get into the tournament.
Hey, NASCAR set their precedent, Kenny. Sure, you can wreck and go for the win, but if they consider your wreck to be conduct detrimental to stock car racing, which they did with Austin Dillon, you can keep your win, but you're not going to advance. That's the bottom line.
No.
Thank you, NASCAR, for making this a cutoff race.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
One driver that is not a fan, we're a fan of, Michael McDowell. One last question about the Roval. Do you like the changes that they've made in this year's track? They're talking about turn 7 and creating chaos for you guys.
Yeah, I don't love the gimmicky creating chaos. I mean, I'll just say it out there. But I like change because I feel like change helps when it's a place that maybe you haven't nailed, right? Like I wasn't super excited about Watkins Glen having a new bus stop and a new exit curving because we were so good there last year. I don't want anything to change, and drivers are selfish like that. And so I think that creating more chaos at the Roval, I don't love gimmicks. I wish we were at a proper road course like a Road America or maybe Laguna Seca or somewhere cool like that. But it is fun and it is challenging and it is a different style. It's like indoor karting with your buddies. But if anyone that's gone indoor karting with their buddies leaves there really pissed, right? And that's how the Roval is. You leave there like, I got run into way too many times. I ran into too many people. I mean, you just leave there like, what did we just do? And I think that's honestly why it suits AJ's style so well, right? Like he's figured it out. And so, so it's fun. I enjoy it. But I think there's a lot cooler road courses we could be doing.
Good for him in saying that. Imagine those big stock cars coming down the corkscrew at Laguna Seca. Oh, would love it.
I don't know, Stat Man. I think it's not happening, man. Anything to bury this lawsuit for the next several races.
Not happening. Not happening.
This is not going away. This potentially could change the sport more than anything's happened in a very long time.
Yep.
Hey, Ross, it's your boy Steve Phelps, NASCAR, $300,000. You take out Elliott, second to the last lap. Give us some drama, bro. Oh, by the way, this is Steve O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah, wrong Steve.
Hey. Love this.
In case you're wondering who's in can we bring up this real quick? Because we're almost out of time. We'll give you a good idea. Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric, and Chase Briscoe. Those are your 3 drivers below the cut line. And Joey Logano, former champion. Daniel Suarez, good on road courses. Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe, not too happy with how the old DVP clock went, I think, for both of them in the big wreck today at Talladega, or on Sunday at Talladega.
Just take a look at Denny Hamlin sitting in the 4th spot, seemingly massively safe going into the round of 8.
Joey Logano's taking him out, Crasher. I predicted. Joey Logano's taking out Denny Hamlin.
Let me back up, because before that big one with 4 or 5 to go, Denny Hamlin was on the outside looking in. That big one saved his ass.
Calling my shot. Babe Ruth, I'm over there. It's going over there, babe. Joey Logano taking out Denny Hamlin. 5 to go. Good night, Denny.
Please.
We shall see.
It's going to wind up like this if you're watching us on MAP TV and Ricky Stenhouse punching Kyle Busch.
So hard that Kyle Busch's face is blurred.
Yes. That was the most exciting thing that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. did this season prior to winning Talladega, as the punch heard around the world.
And meanwhile, Kyle Busch goes up into the outer lane because nobody wanted to move with 3 laps to go. Kyle's the only one that wants to take a chance, and nobody goes with him. Everybody's content. I'll finish 10th. I'll finish 8th. I'll finish just wherever. Nobody was moving. Talladega used to be a race where you would take chances on the last lap. You'd have buddies go with you. Didn't happen today. I'm just blown away by that too. But
you dropped that out with 40 seconds to go in the show, Crash.
Well, you guys were talking other Talladega stuff. Yes, it was. Sorry.
Man.
Those Lucas Oil colors look good, though, didn't they, Crash?
They did.
They look great out front.
Back and straight up.
Oh, my goodness. Next week is going to be fan-freaking-tastic right after the Roval. And the chaos the NASCAR is creating.
Yep.
All right, Freak Nation. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the website, speedfreaks.tv. Shoot the juice to the moose and stat man.
Cut it loose.
See ya.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Freak Nation, make your plans now to get yourself a new set of General tires. And if you buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires, you'll get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Fall's here. Winter's coming. Wet weather. You want to make sure you're on a new set of General tires. For more information, check it out at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Rev up your passion for speed. MAVTV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans. Enjoy exclusive racing, live events, groundbreaking originals, and a lot more. Anytime, anywhere, for free. Whether you're a diehard or just getting started, MAVTV Go has something for everyone. MAVTV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
3 years of sellout crowds. 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action. 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR. And now, NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.